Welcome everybody to Formula 7 Realistic. We are here for a rainy Miami Grand Prix and I'm just going to do a quick sound check. So Adam, A-Fixed, I've turned it up a little bit if that's too loud. Yeah, I've turned it up a little bit, but A-Fixed has sent me some recommendations for a mic. So here we are. We've got a new one. So hopefully this is a lot better for the foreseeable future. Can everybody hear me? So hopefully that mic should be a lot better now. Yeah, got some recommendations of A-Fixed. We've got a new mic, so we shouldn't sound like we're underwater, echoey, buffering, whatever. It should be crystal clear for the race here in Miami, and it's a full wet race. That means it's going to be about 10 minutes longer in total in the race. Qualifying is the same amount of time, but the race should be about 10 minutes longer due to it being about 20 seconds per lap longer. But yeah, it should be a good one. It's light rain throughout, so we should just see a lot of intermediate runners. I'm trying to turn it up, I just didn't want it to be too loud. I'll turn it up a little bit, I just don't want it to be too loud. So, Reese in the Ferrari. goes P7. Casper in the Williams. He's not able to reserve in the McLaren anymore. Jennifer, yes, we have one Aston Martin seat. As there's no Aston Martin team principal, we have an Aston Martin seat. So if you actually do want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. Because they've not got a reserve for the race. Super Turbo, the fastest driver through Sector 3 in the Haas. Leo Lund goes P12 in the Racing Bull, and Nick in the Red Bull. They've got a new team principal, and that is DJ Harvey. So let's see what they can do under new ownership there. But yeah, the audio should be fixed now. We shouldn't have any issues hearing my voice, which is, I'm not sure, a good thing. So Nick goes P13, B Wright goes up to P3 in the McLaren on full wet compound tyres. So although it's only light rain, he's out on full wet tyres. Would it be possible to have the budget sheets visible to team principals? I mean, yeah, but it gets posted as soon as I update it. So if you have access to it, that's fine, but you're not going to see anything quicker or anything other than what you already see, if you see what I'm saying. Because as soon as I update it, I post it. So yeah, B Wright went up to P3. Mitch in the Ferrari. Yes, Jen, if you can join the race. So Mitch is coming round. Oh, and he's very slidey there. So I'm wondering if Mitch is going to struggle. Epic OJ with a 1:38.3 has gone 8 tenths quicker than anybody else here in Q1 in the Alpine. What's going on, Harvey? How we doing? So Red Bull with their new team principal of DJ Harvey. He's done the Red Bull job before. Him and Alvaro had a famous Netflix battle. Jay's on an outlap, and then Fanfinus, and we'll see what Jay's can do in the Haas. And we can we'll keep an eye on the timings as well to see where he's sort of at in comparison to Epic OJ in at the Alpine. So through turn 4 and 5, yellow flags are waving, not sure why that is. What's going on, Kev? How are we doing? So, Jay's in the Haas. I don't mind the Haas livery for next season. I don't think it looks that bad, but it should tie in. So when season 12 ends in Formula 7 racing, that should tie up to when season 13 starts, for when the new F1 game DLC comes out. Mitch has gone fastest, a 1:37.2. So the drivers are starting to get a lot quicker. The world champion of Fanfinus is now on a lap, but it's going to be Jay's first to the line. So the new DLC comes out at the end of April. I've not heard that, Banana, or seen that anywhere. The only information I've seen is potentially middle of May, but probably June. So Jays goes up to P2 in the Haas. It's going to be one of them qualifying sessions, which is just about the late runners here, I think. So Jays going up to P2. What about Fanfinus in the Mercedes? The world champion is nearly 3 tenths up on the fastest lap of Mitch. I've seen and heard it. Yeah, you'll have to send it me, Banana, because I was doing a big deep dive on it about 2 days ago. Like, really deep dive, because I want to see when our season ends in comparison to where it comes out. And I did not see April anywhere. So, Fanfinus in the Mercedes. If it is April, great. But I just not seen it anywhere. Fanfinus coming around, turn 18, and then down towards the line, here in the rain. And it is a P1 in Q1, a 1:36.9 for the Mercedes driver. Leo Lund currently sits 19th, but we know how quick he is. So Leo Lund into turn 17 on them intermediate tyres, on board the V-carb. So a 1:36.4 for the Racing Bull. Nick is on his way back out. Let's have a look at the eliminated drivers at the minute. Sorry guys, I've got... So it is CJ, Hackmore, Sanderman and Nick all going out at the moment. Did Jennifer want an invite? He's not online yet. If you do want an invite, Jennifer. So just under 6 minutes remaining. And we do have a couple of drivers on the lap. The Bad on 4 who's in the Alpine. Who was the Aston Martin team principal for a couple of days, I think it was. But unfortunately, a miscommunication, as a Bad on 4 thought that if you took the team principal role, you were able to race on track. Obviously, that is not allowed here, so he's dropped back out of the team principal role to race. But yeah, just on that as well. Yes, that's what I mean, happen. Yes, V-carb. But yes, on that, if you are a team principal, the reason we don't allow drivers to race is obviously for the fact that it would be unfair for people as drivers to just take a team principal role just so they can put themselves on the grid in front of other people. So that's why we don't allow it, because that would mean that everybody who wants to race this seat would be like, I'll be team principal, and then they'd just put themselves on the grid all the time and they'd never get off the grid. And then they'd prioritise themselves on track, they'd prioritise themselves off track, they'd post about themselves, do you know what I mean? You basically, you would never see Christian Horner in a Red Bull racing around the track. So yeah, just to keep it realistic and keep it fair, we don't allow team principals to race on the track, so just to clear that up. But it's nice to see Bad on 4 on track here in Realistic, and we are now looking for an Aston Martin team principal. Cars in the Sauber coming around to the line. Where's he going to put it? And it's fast. It's the 1:36.2. And as the drivers get lower on fuel, the cars get lighter and faster. This is where you're going to see the times improve. Nick has invalidated it. Merkel in the Mercedes is just coming through sector 1. What about Super Turbo in the Haas? He's just going through sector 2 at the moment. So there's going to be no DRS in this race either. Cars and Leo Lunda 1-2 in Q1. Reese is on the brink, so he's got to be careful. And we can see Cars is the benchmark where Super Turbo is looking for. And you know what? I've just thought sector 1's really long, isn't it? Sector 2 is quite a short sector, and so is sector 3. So Super Turbo coming down that straight, he'll burn that battery, he'll get no help from the rear wing open. And he's not as quick as he has been through sector 2. Is that going to compromise his lap time? So around turn 17 and up towards the line for Super Turbo. And into the pit lane for him. That is Merkel that goes fastest. What about Reese in the Ferrari? There's an Aston Martin of Hackmore, he goes P2. Yeah, Hackmore goes P2. Ferrari to the line. He's just getting a bit of less fuel on the car. Sam the man is now on a lap as he burns that battery. And Nick coming around to Sam the man coming around turn 11. And Deadly in the McLaren. He's reserving in the Papaya today. What's going on, Vixen? And there's a few drivers just hitting the line now. There's a Ferrari. Oh, Mitch. Reese. If he makes one mistake here, Reese, it could all be over. So he needs to be careful. The B-Right goes fastest. A 1:35.0 in front of his teammate. And what about Nick? In the Red Bull. I think that might be Sam the man as well. It is. Is Sam the man going to improve and get out of the top 5? I think it's just going to be about the late runners here. It's P10 for Sam the man. Mitch is now on a lap. We've got a bad on 4 in the Racing Bull. He's going to head to the line. And to start his lap, Reese in the Ferrari has kept it valid, so that's what he needed to do. So this should be more than enough to get into Q2. Nick is not out just yet, he's just on a lap. And there's a Sauber of CJ, I don't know if he's being held up. Here comes Reese to the line. And Reese goes P6, he is safe. What about the Red Bull of Nick? Is he going to make it into Q2? It is P10, he should make it through. But who knows in these sorts of conditions. Jeffy's on an outlap, then you've got the Aston Martin of Hackmore behind him going for another. And the McLaren of Deadly is going to go for one more run at this. The Mercedes behind him of Fanfurus, he's also going to go for another run. And Mitch, who's probably on the brink of elimination here. Then you've got the Haas of Super Turbo, you've got the two Saubers of Jeffy and Cars. Cars goes B9, the checkered flag is out. They can do no more. B rights into the pit lane. The Haas of Jays is currently in P8. Is he improving? He's not. He also goes into the pits. Trying to find on board with the other Williams. That is Casper, also into the pit lane. And I think we've got some Red Bulls still going for it. Racing Bulls, sorry. That is a bad on 4. CJ in the Sauber is out. So what about a bad on 4 in the Racing Bull, losing the rears? Oh, and he's slipping and sliding everywhere. To the line we go, and it's P14. He does improve, but is it enough to get through? You've got the Mercedes, you've got Leo Lund going into the pit lane, you've got Jeffy Boy, who might be eliminated. You've got Epic OJ in the Alpine, F1 Parallax also in the Alpine behind him. Here comes Epic OJ, who was looking very strong, but he's well off the pace now. He hasn't set a lap for a few runs, and Epic OJ goes P10. Super Turbo is out. Is a bad on 4 going to follow? Parallax is through. What about Jeffy? Is he going to knock Parallax out? He does. P4 for Jeffy. Mitch in the Ferrari just gets through. In Sam the man in the Williams also getting through. Parallax is out. A bad on 4 is out. Super Turbo and CJ all eliminated here in Q1. Interesting stuff in Miami. An Alpine, a Racing Bull, a Haas and a Sauber. So it's not an engine problem, because there's one of each of them teams that have got through and one of each of them teams that haven't. So 15 drivers will proceed in Q2. Remember guys, we are going to Le Mans this Friday, 7 PM. We are going to Monza for our first ever Le Mans race, and it will see round 1 for the first ever time. It should be great. So Q1, it sees Leo Lund go fastest in that Racing Bull. Then it's Mirko Hackmore, B right. Sorry, I'm just trying to put these in the system as we're talking. Jeffy Boy, Deadly, Fanfurus, Mitch, then the Ferrari of Reese in P9, and then P10 is Casper, but I need to get the others as well. Then Jay's cars, Epic OJ, the Red Bull. Oh, who was in the Red Bull in P14? I'll get it in a minute. Oh no, B right. Where's Deadly? Yeah, he's P6. The Red Bull of Nick was P14. Yeah, you're right. There we go. We've got all the data for the first qualifying. We did, Pele. We started on time. We've got no issues. We've got no lobby issues at the moment. Touch wood, that doesn't happen. We've got no issues with the mic, as we've got a new mic. The only problem is that I've been full of a cold all day. It's not even a cold. It's just really bad allergies. I need to get my nose sorted if I want to improve as a commentator, really. It causes me so much issues every time I commentate. So we hear engines on the way out of the pit lane, and it's Jay's, the Canadian driver here in America. Or is he American? Yeah, he's Canadian. Sam the Man is American. So Sam the Man at his home Grand Prix. Jay's basically the neighbour. He does have 14 United US states that do border Canada. So the only reason I know that is because I was watching it on a game show the other day. I'm sure it's 14 or 17, something like that. He might be Canadian, but he's driving in an American car, so the fans will be happy to see the United States team here in Miami into Q2. Nick in the Red Bull is also out on a lap, but we're going to ride on board with Jay's, and we'll see what he can put here in Q2. You can see the eliminated drivers up in the top right, if you are wondering. It's all fun and games. Good to see Dennis doing well. It is. I was very, very surprised to see Dennis not being Aston Martin's a good team, don't get me wrong, but I was surprised not to see him in a bigger team, especially with his pace and his knowledge. His knowledge of setups and everything is terrific. He does a lot of practice per track, so yeah, I was really surprised to see him. Yeah, I bet I have it. So, we're riding on board with Jay's. We head down towards turn at 10. We're just flat out now and just burning that battery, not deliberately. And you can see the way he brakes into there, into second, and just feathering that brake pedal back onto the throttle, into third. Stays in third, back down to second, through the left and right hander, staying in second all the way through there, and now he'll just kick it off, back into third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then he'll just burn that battery. DRS kicks in, but he doesn't get it because of the rain here in Miami. Yeah, of course, Harvey. I know how the connection you have with Red Bull. So Jay's coming down towards the line, and he will set the benchmark 1:36.0. Next will be the Red Bull. That is the information. 19 corners, your full throttle for 66% of the lap. Top speed 208 miles an hour. Medium tyre wear. He's out on used intermediate tyres there for Nick. A 1:36.2 for the Red Bull driver. Next is that Scuderia 136.018 for Jays. You can see how close Reese is getting to that. Around turn 15 for that Schooner rear driver. Reese, who is bidding to win his first ever realistic world title. He's won in Tier 1. Sorry guys, I went on a sneezing fit. What's going on, Nimble? It does happen indeed. So cars in the Sauber is also on a lap, but we've got a couple more coming to the line first. Casper being one of them. Oh, sorry, it's not Casper. So we'll try and get on more with these. Epic OJ on an out lap. The Mercedes of Fanfinus also on an out lap. Sam the Man, the homegrown hero here in the US of A. And what can he do in the Williams? He's already into Q2, so he'll be happy with that. And if he can get into Q3, that'll be something that the fans will absolutely love here in the US of A. And to the line for Sam the Man, and it's P3. It's a 1:36.5 for the American. Then the Sauber of cars, the Dutchman, goes P1 in Q2, a 1:35.8. We've got a couple of Ferraris. Is one of them going to be Reese? It is, but it's going to be Mitch to the line after Reese. Mitch at 1:37.6. What about Epic OJ in the Alpine? Jeffy Boy and Fanfinus are also on laps. It will be Jeffy Boy to the line before Fanfinus as we race here around South Coast, sort of East Coast, Florida, but right at the bottom of the East Coast. And into turn 17. Around 18 and then 19 as we hit the checkered flag. So the Red Bull driver of Jeffy Boy is going to set his benchmark lap in Q2, and it's a 1:35.0. He goes fastest. Fanfinus is going to follow him through, the current reigning world champion, who is yet to win a race, coming with that title defence, and he goes P4. Leo Lund in the Racing Bull, just coming down that huge back straight, and it will be interesting to see what Leo Lund can do in that Racing Bull. He's been phenomenal. He is an esports driver with the McLaren team, so it's no surprise that even in a Racing Bull he is right up there. And he is one of 3 Swedish drivers that we see race on the grid, and one of 5 throughout Formula 7. Well, down the final straight, and that was the Ferrari of Mitch coming to the line once again, a 1:35.4 for him. He goes up to P3. 6 minutes of this Q2 session remaining, and I hope the audio is good for you all. I did get, as I said previously, I got some good recommendations from a Fixter, so I'm hoping these mics are a lot clearer for you guys and it doesn't sound muffly or underwater as the last one sounded when the woman refused my refund request. Here comes Mirko to start his flying lap, but we have drivers still out there, still bidding to improve. Jeffy Boy is on his way into the pit lane. So is Fanfare. So I think Merkel is going to be the driver. It gets us underway once again. Turn 10 for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas driver. It is Leo Lund that is fastest in Q2 at 1:34.988. The first driver to get into the 1:34s in the rain here in Miami, just in front of the sister car of Jeffy Boy, Leo Lund. So what a lap. AMS Merkel is going to be next. Back onto the front and he's up. He's a 10th up on the fastest time is the Mercedes driver as we head down towards turn 17. And the Mercedes looking very quick. Merkel, considering Merkel is not the primary driver in Mercedes, his teammate is the world champion. Merkel has definitely been the stronger of the drivers at the start of season 8 here. And AMS Merkel 1:34.7 for him. Deadly and Hackmore. It will be Deadly first though in the Aston Martin. Sorry, Hackmore in the Aston Martin, Deadly in the McLaren. Deadly got a little promotion to the McLaren team. Wait, how? I thought Deadly was a... He's Deadly a Williams driver. So Deadly up to P7. Is Deadly a Williams driver or an Aston Martin driver? How has Deadly been recruited to McLaren if he races for Aston Martin? How have they managed to do that? Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that. I've just realised. Oh, Williams, yeah, fine, right, brilliant. No worries, Banana, that's fine. Jesus, you had me worried there. I was going to say, how have you managed to swindle that one? Yeah, a reserve. The reason is because reserves can't reserve up unless it's a team under the same umbrella. That's the reason why I was thinking then. Be right in the McLaren. Deadly in the McLaren. A 1:34.5 for him. Mirko in P2. Be right in P3. So getting some decent laps on the board. 2.5 minutes to go. Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't blame you, Clifton. So Hackmore and James are on the lap. It will be Hackmore first. I think he might be on an in lap. He is. And so is Jays, but it's Deadly that is currently fastest here in Q2. And it is Sam the Man. That will be the first of the final runners in Q2. So we're right on board with Sam the Man. Let's see what he can do. And let's have a look at the speed traps. So at the moment, the speed traps, it is Deadly that is fastest, 206 miles an hour. The Williams of Sam the Man is in P2 with a 205, and Mirko in the Mercedes in P3 with 204. So we know that Sam the Man's got the straight line speed. Going to get a toll from his teammate here. Sam the Man is going to get a huge toll from his Williams teammate. They are working together here in Miami, and he's getting a huge toll. That was to perfection, and that is what it's all about. Has Sam the Man done enough down that straight to get into Q2 as his teammate of Casper helped him all the way down there to get him that extra bit of speed and Sam the Man to the line, and he stays P15. What happened? It looked so good. So Sam the Man, the American driver, is out here in Q2. We've got a few drivers coming to the line. The Ferrari of Mitch is just going to make it. He did invalidate it. He's got 3 seconds to go. And the Aston Martin of Hackmore goes P6. Is that going to be enough to get him through? The Haas of Jays is out. So the Canadian is also out. Here comes Nick, the Dutchman, to the checkered flag, is up to P8. We've already got a few drivers out though, so a lot of these are safe. B-Right is safe, although he's on an in-lap, sorry. So is Deadly. You know, Deadly's setting purple sectors. He's lighting up this circuit. What about the Sauber driver of cars? He comes into turn 17 at the left-hander. He's setting green sectors. This should be enough. And I tell you what, there's a couple of drivers at risk here, and look at them all bunched up. They're all bunched up through sector 2. Cars is out. Fanfitness is right in the middle of all these bunched up cars. This could be awful for him. Cars is out. Jays is out. Sam the Man is out. Epic OJ is going to try and improve. Casper in the Williams is also trying to improve. He's getting a huge slipstream from Sam the Man as he just peels over to the left. And they've helped each other again, but it's Epic OJ that will be first to the line. Around turn 17. Back onto the throttle. What about Fanfitness? Epic OJ first though. And he will go P14. He does not improve. Casper's up to P6. Fanfitness is P9. And I tell you what, he's a very lucky boy there, Fanfitness. He's made it through by 6/100ths of a second. That is really close between P12 and P8. My goodness, less than 1/10 of a second. Both Red Bulls are through. A Ferrari is out. Alpine and Williams and Haas and Sauber are out. Wow. Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll send you a new round in a second. Oh, that was a good Q2, that. So there you have it. It is Deadly that goes fastest in Q2. I do need to write these down, so bear with me. Deadly Q2, Mirko in P3, and then B-Right in P4. And you've got Leo Lund P3, sorry, Leo Lund P4, Jeffrey Boy P5, Casper P6, Hackmore P7, Reese in P8, and then you've got Fanfitness in P9 and Nick in P10. But it's the bottom 5, Mitch, Kaz, Jays, Epic OJ and Sam the Man, who all go out in Q2. So Nick picking up a track limit penalty on the way out there. A little warning. A little bit of driver's control 10.5 minutes to determine who's going to start on pole position for today's Grand Prix. Reese is back in. It doesn't look like we've got any lobby issues though, which is really good. Dennis in the aftermath, absolutely right into Q3 as well. The Williams and Casper's in, and then the Bull is in. Both Mercedes, both McLarens, both Red Bulls, and then Aston Martin for good measure, all into the top 10. Will be the McLaren, I think, of B. Wright that's going to be first. He's just overtaken the Red Bull of Jeffy. Sorry, was it? Oh no, I think it was. Anyway, B. Wright is the first driver out on track. The first driver to set his qualifying lap. And all of these drivers will be looking at racing on intermediate tyres. So down in towards turn 17 for the Papaya. And also Nick, we should be finished. I'm looking at the timing. By the time all of the games kick off in the second half, we should be fully finished. Even with safety cars and the rainy race, the delayed timings for the race, we should be finished whilst it's half time during the matches. So be right in the McLaren. Around turn 8, back onto the throttle, burning that battery now. Remember, he's got no DRS, so you'll see the drivers try to use their battery mode a little bit more delicately in certain areas and situations, a bit differently as they would do if they would have had DRS. Around turn 11 and 12. Into 13 and 14, the left and right hander. And then in towards turn 16, back onto the throttle. McLaren driver. He's going to set the benchmark here in Miami with that purple sector 2. Let's have a look at the sector times. Jeffy Boy fastest in sector 1 at the moment. Into turn 17 for the 3-time world champion here in Realistic. A beautiful helmet glistening here, and it's a 1:34.9 for the Papaya. Nick will be next, a 1:35.8 for the Red Bull. Then we've got the Mercedes of Fanfinis, the current world champion. And what can the Dutchman do with 7 minutes remaining around turn 18 and 19, and then a short run up to the checkered flag? And it's a 1:35.3, it's P2 for him. Jeffy Boy in the other Red Bull, and he goes fastest, a 1:34.7 for Jeffy Boy. What about the Ferrari of Reese? He's about to get underway. And Deadly in the other McLaren, who's been showing some tremendous pace so far in this qualifying session, surprisingly, after being promoted from the Williams team. And he goes fastest, a 1:34.4 for Deadly. Wow. So Casper in the Williams. To the line, and it is P4 for him in that Williams. That's a good lap time. Leo Lund will be next. And the Racing Bull driver. He's not setting green sectors, but he is in a Racing Bull. Super consistent. Trying his best to get right up the grid order. Low on fuel, so he is pushing to the line, and it's P2. A 1:34.5 from the Racing Bull. Splits the McLaren and the Red Bull. Reese in the Scuderia will be next. He's currently nearly 2 tenths up on the time of Deadly. This is going to be super competitive. A really tight qualifying session. Who knows who's going to be on pole position? It could be one of 5 or 6 drivers here. So the Ferrari of Reese, around turn 17 we go. for the Miami Grand Prix. Into the line. And it is P5. He lost all of his time. Not sure what happened there. The Aston Martin and the Mercedes are now out, but it will be Hackmore, the Belgian driver, to the line first. And this is where he'll burn all of his battery. 3 to 9, 10. Bradley is cooking, absolutely. He is cooking, yeah, he is in that McLaren. He's been given the opportunity to move up, and he's taking it with both hands. I mean, McLaren have been a little bit cheeky this season. They've signed 2 drivers, and they've basically just had quicker reserves race all season so far. They've been a little bit cheeky about it. So they're doing well at the moment with their reserve drivers and their 1 full-time driver. They're doing well. They're signing the right people at the right time, is what I would say there. So Hackmore into turn 17 for the Aston Martin driver. And around towards the line we go, and it is P7 for Hackmore. And Mirko will go P3, so it's provisional second row for Mirko. So Lewis is back next week. Deadly will go back to Williams, so he's just getting a taster for it. It'll only make him a better driver anyway. I'm sure of it. So, B Wright is now back on an outlap, the 3-time world champion. What are your predictions, guys, for this qualifying? Was that a compliment, Nathan? Nah. More like a complaint / compliment. I'm kidding. No, it was. You've signed the right people. I mean, Casper is very quick. Deadly's improved massively. But yeah, you got to. That's the job as a team principal, isn't it? Making the right choices at the right time, signing the right people, getting the right drivers in. It's all right getting a fast driver in, but they've got to be consistent. They've got to help out. Casper's been a brilliant teammate to be right. So yeah, you've got to make the right signings at the right times, and that's what you've done. So yeah. So be right. Will get us underway. Is this going to be his final run here in Q3? Around turn 8 for the Papaya. How wide he takes it there and then just dives over the curb. This is the tricky bit, into the left and right hander. I tell you what, somebody's going to make a mistake here in Miami, especially in the rain. That's our way. Slower. Right, not going to wait around for anybody. He's going to lose so much pace without that battery around that back end. Into turn 17, back onto the front. We know how good B Wright is. We know why he's a 7-time world champion across 2 tiers. Here he comes to the checkered flag, and B Wright will go fastest. A 1:34.408 for the former world champion. What about the Ferrari? Reese, he's just on another outlap. He's going to. He did go fastest in sector 1 as well. So I don't think he meant to invalidate it. Hackmore is coming through turn 13 and 14 through 15 now. Going towards 16. Back onto the throttle, and he's on another outlap, sorry. Just noticed he's not burning any of his battery. So every single driver is on an outlap. This is it. We're on board with Fanfulness in the Mercedes AMG. But it's Reese that is going to be the first one to the line now, with 40 seconds to go. Around turn 7 into 8. This is where the drivers, look at that, he's 2.5 tenths up through sector 1. Then the provisional pole sitter, wow. And he kept all of his battery for this back straight. And he is, and then he's just going to save it as he goes back in, harvesting that battery. And then around turn 12, this is it for the Ferrari man. Can he put it on pole here in Miami? Through turn 16 now, back onto the throttle. You can see this is where he'll just empty the battery tank all the way down the back straight. Tell you what, he looks like he's got more battery than B. Wright did at this point of the back straight, so that's definitely going to help him. He's green sector 2. This is going to be a provisional pole time. The checkered flag has waved. Mirko is not going to be able to improve, but it's all down to Reese in that Ferrari coming to the line, and Reese goes P3. He's lost it all in sector 3 again. Look how close it is though. The Aston Martin driver of Hackmore, the top 3 separated by half a tenth. This is remarkable. Reese has lost it all down the back straight. It was the straight line speed of that car, but he's definitely got a race set up on. Hackmore in the Aston Martin to the line. He goes P7. Then comes the McLaren of Deadly. Is he going to take that pole position away from his teammate? To the line, he does. Leo Lund coming to turn 17. Jeffy Boy goes P4 in the Red Bull. But it's all eyes on the Racing Bull now. Around turn 19 to the line, Leo Lund goes P2. It's all to Fanfinus, the reigning champion. Fanfinus to the checkered flag goes P7. It's Deadly that takes pole position here in Miami. It's Leo Lund in the Racing Bull in P2 and B. Wright in the Papaya in P3. So there we have it, we have our starting grid for the USA Grand Prix. So it is Deadly that takes pole position here in Miami. It's Leo Lund that takes P2. And then it's B. Wright in the other McLaren that starts in P3 on the second row of the grid. In P4, it's the Ferrari of Reese that will start alongside him in P4. And then Jeffy Boy P5, Mirko in P6. On the fourth row of the grid, it's Fanfinus, the world champion, in P7. And Hackmore, the Belgian driver, in P8. And then on the fifth row of the grid, it's Casper in the Williams in P9. And Nick in the Red Bull that completes the top 10 for tonight's Grand Prix. Well, this should be a good one. Sorry, I keep muting my mic because I keep having a sneezing fit, so I do apologise. Alright. About to go into the race. 19 drivers on the grid. So, I'm really looking forward to this. Miami's always interesting, but in the rain it's going to be different. Safety cars are going to play a big part in this race. Honestly, cryptic. It's a nightmare. I actually, as you all know, a lot of you know, is I have really bad problems with my nasal passage. I have really bad allergies as well. It really affects me. I'm waiting to see if I can do anything with the doctor, but it just, the delays are just years. So that is the possible race strategies, the 2 stop and the 1 stop. So remember, we do have a break after the race here in Miami. So next time you'll see us back is a week on Sunday for Barcelona. Deadly lining up on the grid here for the Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix in the US of A. Very neatly, Leo Lund in P2. The graphics are absolutely incredible. Sometimes I watch old F1 races and it's just come such a long way. Look at the graphics and the rain just bouncing off the halo. Stunning. So we are ready. Are you ready? Because the drivers are ready. Here we go for round 4 for the Miami Grand Prix. Powered by sim racing setups. And it's lights out and away we go. Leo Lund in the Racing Bull got a phenomenal start. And he's going to move into the lead of the Grand Prix. Down in towards turn 1. Through the inside of the papaya. Both McLarens go 2x4s through turn 2 and 3. Leo Lund on the inside. Then you've got B. Wright and Reese going at it. Mirko. There's a huge snap from the Ferraris nearly round. How's he held on to that? Merkel is through, so is Jeffy Boy. Reese is trying to recover from a huge snap of the rears. You've got Mitch in the other Ferrari looking for a way through on the Aston Martin. Then you've got Jeffy Boy going for another overtake on Reese in the other Scuderia, just slots in front of him. Then you've got CJ on Super Tube on a huge battle going on at the back of this grid. Deadly now already a second clear. Mitch in the other Ferrari, fighting for P7 on board with the Ferrari drivers. The world champion tries to hold on for position, but down the inside goes the Scuderia. Mitch is trying to make the move, and so is Reese. And the Ferraris are getting well acquainted with the rest of the grid and slipping and sliding. Through there goes Mitch. Wow, what a start to this Grand Prix in the rain. That is a brilliant start. There goes Epic OJ on cars. Every driver still in this race, still locked within that second mark. The cars on Epic OJ. There goes CJ on Sam the Man, the Williams driver, demoted down to P18 for now. Is he going to go for that move up the inside? He absolutely is. If there's a gap, you no longer go for. You are no longer a racing driver, and Sam the Man is the definition of that in that Williams. Leo Lund now a second behind Deadly, who's starting to peel away. He's in the faster car, so he will definitely have the advantage at this point. So back on board with the leaders. Deadly really finding his form, but one lack of concentration, one slight mistake, and it is all over. 29 laps to take you through. Hackmore, there goes CJ, there goes Hackmore on Mitch. The Aston Martin and the Ferrari going wheel to wheel. Let's have a look at the reaction times of the leaders. So, Leo Lund, 6.48, Deadly 6.88. That's why Leo Lund got into the lead of the Grand Prix off the race start. Here comes B. Wright in the other McLaren, trying to make the move on the Racing Bull, but he's not able to. He's going to try the old switcheroo as they go around turn 12 at the right-hander. Mitch is also fighting with Hackmore once again. The Aston Martin driver has the inside line, the shorter route in front, and stays in P8 for now. A really thrilling start to this Grand Prix. All the drivers, this is what it's supposed to be like. That is B. Wright that is now into P2. Show us the tyres. Oh God, well, they're all going to be intermediates. That is Mitch. That is Mitch is out. Mitch is out. He's crashed it. I don't know what's going on here. It's causing a little bit of problems. VSC and a couple of the drivers have decided to get their pit stop out the way. I don't know if you have to pit though, or with intermediates. Oh, he's got front wing damage. Yeah, he had front wing damage. Oh, wow, look at that. And he's got a penalty. He's having to serve a penalty. This is awful for Casper. Jays as well. What has happened there? And I think that DNF from Mitch really caused some problems for these drivers. And the Ferrari season for Mitch goes from bad to worse here. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. What do you mean Delta issues? Yep, track is green, everything's good. So look at that behind, that is Jeffy Boy and Reese. The Red Bull has been demoted back down to P6 as Reese just squeezes through the gap. And back into P5, and the front six here are in a nice little battle. Doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with his Delta there, but now, I'll tell you what, he closed the gap on Deadlit. Miami VSC as well. Why? What's going on? Oh, I don't know. I don't see any gaps that have opened up. What's happened? Well, hopefully we don't get another VSC. So, Deadlit leading to B. Wright, to Leo Lund and Mirko, just in general. Keep an eye on it. Leo Lund there going for that move on B. Wright. Wheel to wheel got the Racing Bull and the McLaren. And they do squeeze each other. Oh, and that was a bit of a squeeze there. And the Racing Bull did really well to hold on to that. And the McLaren driver, B. Wright, will maybe be thanking his lucky stars that Leo Lund didn't end up in the wall there. Getting a bit tasty between the pair of them. Here comes Reese on Mirko, the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Nothing to separate them. It's a sprint race down towards turn 10 and 11. And now B. Wright's in front of Deadly. Have they been told to swap around? Have the McLarens been told to swap around? Maybe there's been some information to say you need to let him through so you can build up a gap. Mirko and Reese and Jeffy Boy literally inches apart as we filter through sector 3. Leo Lund is now through on Deadly. What is going on with Deadly? He's gone from being the fastest driver on the grid to dwindling down the order. Now Mirko might even try his luck. Deadly into the slipstream of the Racing Bull. He's coming like a rocket, and now he's going to move back into P2. But look, B. Wright, now a second and a half clear. Leo Lund's going to go down the inside. Goes for that lunge. A great move from the Racing Bull to get back into P2. Deadly down to P3 in that McLaren. Here comes Mirko in the Mercedes. What a stunning overtake by Leo Lund. Here comes Fanfredoos. Deadly on Leo Lund once again, wheel to wheel, the McLaren and the V-cab. Every time they go down a straight, that McLaren is just so quick that Leo Lund's having to do so much work through the corners. And once again, he's going to try it. The gap is 2 seconds to the leader. They're wheel to wheel, side by side once again. Leo Lund around the outside. They touch the McLaren and the Racing Bull. They've held on. My goodness, that was close, and Deadly is back into P2, and Mirko has got a front row seat to all of this. Wow! Here comes Mirko through on Reese, the Ferrari driver slotting into the slipstream. Leo Lund also into the slipstream with that McLaren. Reese might go for a move up the inside. This is going to be close to going 3 wide, down in towards. Oh, he's touched him into turn 11 and 12. And this is getting very spicy. The Mercedes and the Racing Bull now at the Red Bull. And Fanfredoos is joining the action, the world champion. About on 4 in the Racing Bull around the outside of the Sauber. But look at Jeffy Boy in the Red Bull. He's trying to squeeze that Mercedes away. He's now up to P5. What is Mirko going to do? And all of this battling is helping the front 3 now. Be right 3 seconds clear. And is Mirko going to go for that move up the inside? He does, but he loses it. He goes for that move, loses it, taps into the side of the Red Bull. And that's what you've got to be careful of. Oh, he's tangled wheels with the Red Bull again there, Mirko. He needs to be careful. He's just nearly taken him out twice and then gone in front of him. And I'm thinking he's not going to. No, I thought Mirko might have let him back through to avoid getting maybe a penalty at the end of the race. Who knows? But wow, that is very tasty between the two of them. Jeffy Boy is back through and in front into P5. Mirko is not going to let him get away though. And the Italian back into this battle for P5 here in Miami. Wow, Epic OJ's front. Fanfredoos is now down to P9. What is going on with the world champion? It's a really good race, this. It really is. There's so much going on. Epic OJ in at P8. There goes Nick in the other Red Bull, and he's out. Oh, he's into the wall. He's not got damage, but he's down into P18. Reese in P4, chasing down Leo Lund, who's now starting to fall away from them McLarens. And you can see Deadly starting to close that gap to be right now. So maybe it was a strategy. There goes Casper in the Williams through on F1 Parallex. Be right on the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's starting to find his rhythm. Is the former world champion. Fanfredoos is into the pit lane. After 7 laps of racing, he's in the pits, and it ain't because of the tyres. He's got wing damage. So he's going to have to change his front wing. There we have it. So unfortunate, as the reigning world champion is having one of the worst title defences of anybody. It's not great for him. So he's going to come out in P17, and Nick is out in the pit lane. Another DNF for Nick in that Red Bull. And another lost revenue for the Red Bull team. 5 million gone down the drain again. So Mirko Hackmore in P6 and P7. So 7 laps down here in Miami. Oh, the Sauber's lost it in front. Oh, CJ kept hold of that. Just waiting for his track limit penalties to start piling up for CJ. I'm hoping he doesn't get any. I'm hoping he's starting to pull it up a little bit. But who knows? Hackmore in P7. On the back of Mirko. There is a yellow flag. I'm not sure why. Oh, it's Nick's car. It's come out of the pit lane. Oh god, it's right on the bend. I hope it disappears before the leaders reach them. Deadly now sets the fastest lap. It has disappeared. Super Tube having a little sneak on the pad on 4 there. The gaps are starting to open up between the drivers, but we can't be too greedy. We've had a phenomenal start to this race. And let's have a look at how fast so the intermediates are around 2.5 tenths quicker than the intermediates that Super Turbo's on now. Interesting. So they're actually, the intermediates are not, the fresh intermediates are not that much quicker. So you can see that fresh inters are 2.5 tenths quicker than these used inters that the drivers are currently on. So it's raining in 5 minutes. It's all raining here in Miami. No sunshine is going to be here today. Last laps of the top 3. As you can see, B-Ride's on the fastest lap once again. Lawrence really are taking off now. About a bad on 4 on Super Turbo. 9 laps down, 20 to go. So, still 17 drivers on the grid here in Miami. It's always a tough track to race around, and it makes it even worse when it's raining. Oh, the Red Bull of Jeffy Boy's just hit the wall. He's lost an end plate. We were on board with him when he lost it. So, the Red Bull driver, his strategy when he sits in P5 looks like it's all gone down the drain. All of that effort. And Mirko and Hatmo all over the back of him, waiting to pounce. 10 laps down, 19 to go. What about Super Turbo on a bad on 4? That is CJ struggling again, and now here comes the Racing Bull. He's going to look for a way through around turn 19, down towards turn 1. CJ does seem to be struggling on them tyres. Every time he goes through the corners, he's got wing damage, that's why, and his rears are nearly on 50%. So that is why the Sauber driver is struggling. Where is Jeffy Boy going to come out? Right behind right in front of Fanfinis, and right behind Casper. He is going to be quicker though on them intermediates. Let's have a look how much quicker they are now. Half a second quicker our fresh intermediates now a lap. Is it worth the pit stop? Probably not at this stage. Here comes Super Turbo on a bad on 4. The Haas and the Racing Bull are going to go side by side down in towards turn 11. They do touch. It's Super Turbo that coming out on top around the outside. A bad on 4 lunges up the inside, nearly takes out the Haas. And the Racing Bull, that was a bit aggressive, and so was that, and they're both Not respecting each other here. They are getting a little bit... Oh, they've nearly put each other into the wall, and through goes Sam the Man and Cars. And a Baron 4 and Super Turbo only have themselves to blame for them 2 lost positions. And it all started with the aggressive Racing Bull there. Cars through. Sam the Man back up the inside. And the American driver here in Miami is into the points in that Williams. Cars is now all over the rear diffuser. He's going to have to go the long way round. Down towards turn 1. Super Turbo and a bad on 4. I hope that doesn't escalate into anything more. Here comes Jeffy Boy on them fresh intermediate tyres. He will not want to get held up by this Williams for too long. Later on the brakes, beautiful overtake. That is by Jeffy Boy. A stunning move around the outside. Up to P14 and into that clean air for a little bit. What about Cars? Still chasing down Sam the Man. Here he comes now, the Sauber driver. And look at the straight line speed of Sam the Man. Cars is having to go into the slipstream every time to try and close the gap. And then when they get into the corner, the Williams slides and through goes Cars. The Sauber driver is up to P9. Beautiful move. That is what it's all about. Casper now on Fanfinus. Fanfinus has got through. Super Turbo is back throwing a bad on 4, and a bad on 4 wiggles. Maybe, is that an apology? So the Racing Bull and the Haas seem to have sorted it out on track with no words exchanged between them. B Right 4 seconds clear of Deadly. B Right won the opening 2 races here in Realistic, and then the 3rd race of the season. Cars left the lobby, it glitched B Right and it ended him into the wall and out of the race. This could get him back to where he was before that DNF. Mirko is the closest driver in the championship to B Right. He's currently down in P5 and he's 4 seconds away from Reese. He's in sort of no man's land at the moment. Is Mirko. Jeffy Boy is now on the back of Jay. He's really coming with some force now, Jeffy, but remember he had to take a longer pit stop because of that front wing damage, so the undercut is pretty much off the table. Unless the other drivers leave it quite a while to pit, then potentially he could make up some moves. Are any of the front runners going to pit? I don't know if they will at this stage of the race because they'll end up in traffic. I think they'll wait and see what everybody behind does, and once they all pit, then potentially go into the garage and get some fresh rubbers on. They're all well spread out now. The drivers getting very comfortable here in Miami. The rain is not an issue. Not at the moment anyway. Fanfinus is trying to get by on James as well. And Abaddon 4 is coming back at Jeffy Boy in that sister car. The Red Bull around the outside as they collided. Oh, Abaddon 4 in the Racing Bull. Has to get out of there. Jeffy Boy picks up a track limit. There goes Cars. CJ had moved aside and let his teammate through, but he's getting a bit scrappy at the back here. Here comes Fanfinus up the inside of the Haas driver. He just slips and slides. But the world champion is up to P14. Jeffy Boy now got a 1.9 second gap. There goes Fanfinus on a bad on 4. And the Mercedes driver going for a 2-for-1 deal. And a bad on 4 has got wing damage. The Racing Bull has got a missing end plate. Oh, this is not great. This is not turning into a good Grand Prix for the ex-Aston Martin team principal. And he's wiggling about again. He did that in qualifying. What is he doing? He's just taking the Haas out. I don't understand why he's wiggling like that, but he's just taking himself out and the Haas out. I do feel for Jay because he was just having a nice race there. Not getting involved, moving out of people's ways, not trying to battle anybody, and somebody wiggling around on track has just smashed into him. So that looks like it will be a DNF for the Racing Bull. He's doing well. The Alpine and Parallax is into P12. CJ, Sam the Man, Trubo, Jays and a bad on 4 into the pit lane. Jays is double stacking and he's going to get a new front wing. This is awful for Jays. He didn't deserve that at all. Yeah, he's retired and I'm not surprised at all. He did nothing wrong there. Nothing at all. He didn't get involved in anything, he didn't battle anyone, he was just racing his own race, and through no fault of his own, he's been taken out of this Miami Grand Prix. And again, look at that, a bad on 4 just sliding again. I don't know why he's driving like that. So the gap is starting to open up a lot now. We are over halfway through this Grand Prix. We've got no safety car, so the drivers are well spread out. But still, there goes Mirko. He's committing to the undercut. So he's going to get some fresh intermediates on. Reese is through. Epic OJ is also into the pit lane. These intermediates now might be starting to struggle. 75% for the rears. Yeah, Mirko is into the pit lane. Oh, he's coming out of the pit lane. Sorry, Mirko pitted last lap, didn't he? Or did he just pit this lap? Yeah, he just pitted this lap. So, Epic OJ, Cars, Casper and F1 Parallax. F1 Parallax is having a good Grand Prix here. 15 laps down, 14 to go. Anthony still with Jeffy Boy. Remember, Jeffy went for the earlier pit stop, but he had to get his front wing changed. So he's not able to catch up to the pack. But who knows what's going to happen? It's all about that top 10 finish for some of these drivers. It's been an interesting race so far. And that is B right into the pit lane. So it's the leader that commits first. So the leader into the pit lane, and where is he going to come out? He's going to come out behind Hackmore, and here comes Reese. And Reese sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but B-Right is out in front of the Ferrari, but behind the Aston Martin, so he has got some cars to navigate in this pit stop move. That is Sam the Man on CJ, the Williams driver, around the outside of the Sauber. CJ is going to come back at him. And the Williams makes it done, and the American is looking strong for a points finish here. That would be something. Here comes CJ. Sam the Man going to try and take the inside line. CJ goes wide. The Williams is going to cover him off though. Great defensive driving. What about Casper? An F1 Parallax. B-Right is only 7 tenths behind Hackmore now. This is what we wanted. We wanted to see them start to bunch up again. And this is what the pit stops is bringing in. And Bad on 4 retires in the pit lane and leaves. So, wasted money for Racing Bulls there. Really unfortunate. Here comes the McLaren into the slipstream of Hackmore. He needs to get this move done now. And it's now or never down the inside of the Aston Martin driver. And the provisional leader will move in to P3. But Hackmore is not going to give him the easy route through. And Deadly is into the pit lane. Leo Lund stays out. And he would have been hoping that his teammate crashed on track and not retired in the pit lane. I'm sure of it, because he would be delighted with the safety car right about now. And Deadly is going to come out behind Reese. This is a great pit stop for Reese. Oh no, he's not. Look at this, wheel to wheel for the McLaren and the Ferrari. And it is Deadly that comes out just behind Reese. And the Ferrari driver will try and hold on to that for as long as possible. But Deadly lost a lot of time staying out them extra couple of laps. And Deadly does have front wing damage. You are absolutely right. I'm not sure what happened there. He's got a missing end plate. He's only just pitted, and Deadly has got a missing end plate. Where did that happen? Jeffy Boy and Fanfinis in P7 and P8. So, drama once again. So, it's not what they would have wanted here, the McLaren team. So Deadly with that front wing damage. And he's now starting to fall off the back of Reese. So Fanfinis staying with Jeffy Boy for the moment. Hackmore is into the pit lane, and so is Leo Lund. So the Racing Bull is into the pits. Here comes the world champion of Fanfinis. Leo Lund comes out behind Mirko. Where's Reese? Oh, he's up to P2. Wow, he's in a great position. Deadly, even with that wing damage, starting to close the gap slightly. On the back of Super Turbo. Battle at the back. But Deadly is doing well to stay with Reese here, considering he's got considerable damage to that front right wing. Fanfinis on Jeffy Boy. And we can have a look at the last laps between these drivers. City 2-0 up now. So Deadly only 4 attempts behind that Ferrari of Reese. Oh, there goes Casper and Trubo. Trubo's going to come back at him. And they do go battling here, Trubo and Casper. And Trubo's losing the rears again. Parallax is starting to catch up now, and he's got way more battery than both of these. Is he going to go for the double overtake? Out of turn 16, he loses the rear. So does Trubo. Is he going to burn this battery? He's got way more than the two drivers in front of him. And Casper is able to just move away. Fanfinis is back into the pit lane. And Parallax backing out, being very cautious here. So where's Fanfinis going to come out with 10 laps to go? So be right 5 seconds clear. I'm really surprised we've not seen a safety car here in Miami, especially considering it's raining. But that's credit to all the drivers as well. What a great job they've done. Not seeing any safety car. Any sort of huge collisions we've not seen. Here comes F1 Parallax and Super Turbo. 4 attempts. Is the gap? Yeah, the VSC, yeah. But what was that for? That was just Mitch crashing, weren't it, at the turn 17. Safety car or anything. Here comes Deadly. Even with that missing end plate, that pace of that McLaren, he's able to stay with Reese. Leo Lund needs to get past Mirko, but he's 9 seconds behind the top 3 with 9.5 laps to go. What happened to a bad on 4? Well, yes, he killed Jays, crashed out, then came out of the pit lane, started spinning again, then went back into the pit lane and retired. Really unfortunate. Bad race. He was doing well. He had a good couple of battles. A really bad dive on Super Turbo, which caused them to start going at it. And then he wiggled and he lost the rear, smashed into J's and went into the pit lane and retired. It was just a lot going on. Fanfitness is through on Jeffy. So Fanfitness went for the undercut and he's absolutely pulled it off. Jeffy boy is now behind the world champion. So the undercut was perfect for the Mercedes driver. They are down in P11 though. They have to now creep back into the points. Leo Lund needs to get past Mirko as soon as possible really. He's starting to see that podium dwindle away. Deadly in the McLaren into the slipstream of the Ferrari, and even with that front wing damage, he's going to go for the overtake around the outside of the Scuderia, and it's 1, 2, 3 between Reese, B-Right and Deadly, and he's in that McLaren sandwich, but that's not going to stop him fighting, and Deadly has to back out. There goes Trubo and Parallax. Parallax going for that move finally, losing the rear. So is Trubo. They are struggling with them tyres. 46% with 8 laps to go. Are they going to get to the end? Parallax's tyres are a lot fresher. Leo Lund sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Is this going to be the opportunity for Parallax into the slipstream? And he's going to burn that battery. He's going to make the move on the Haas. Here comes F1 Parallax. And Trubo is going to send him the long way round down towards turn 17. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Can he switch it back up the inside? He can't. Super Trubo keeps hold of it and does a great job defending the position. Reese has pitted. Mirko and Leo Lund need to start catching up. Their tyres are a lot fresher. Look at that. Sorry if you hear me those. Look at Leo Lund's tyres in comparison to everybody else. Mirko's got front wing damage and older tyres, and Leo Lund is stuck behind him at the moment. He will not like this. What about Fabulous on CJ? Mercedes driver. Oh, and he went to go up the inside. CJ covered it, and Fanfitness had to go the long way round. And it's CJ trying to defend, and he comes back in a bit early, nearly goes into him, and there goes Jeffy. He sneaks up the inside. And CJ down to P12, but he does have front wing damage. There goes Leo Lund in the racing bull up the inside of the Mercedes and up to P4. And the Mercedes going to try and come back. Mirko, but Leo Lund is going to burn that battery to stay in front. And now the chase is on for the podium places for Leo Lund and Mirko. Leo Lund will not want Mirko trying to get back through, especially with wing damage and older tyres. Look at Leo Lund's tyres. He's going to be so quick now. Still, these two go at it though. I think Mirko will be happy that Leo Lund has gone through, to be honest, because he will be able to sort of tow him along and carry him. Here comes Deadly again. He's got fresher tyres than Reese, but he has got a missing end plate around the outside again. And the more that Reese and Deadly battle, the better it is for Leo Lund, because he's going to start catching him even quicker if it stays like this. So this is interesting that they are battling each other when they could just ride off into the sunset and get a podium. Here comes Deadly once again. Reese squeezing into the outside. Really good positioning of that Ferrari car to defend the position. Oh, and he loses the race, Deadly. That could have been costly. Reese has got a bit of breathing space, and Leo Lund now only 7 seconds behind with 7 laps to go. This is still anybody's podiums. B Wright has sailed off into the sunset by 8 seconds now. Even though Deadly's got front wing damage, he's doing really well to stay with Reese here. Oh, look at that, Leo Lund, only 6.1 now. He's coming at a rapid rate of knots. Look at this, through turn 16. Look how close he is to that rear diffuser of the Ferrari. McLaren on lap 23 of 29. Reese is weaving. He's going to try and keep the position. He'll send Deadly the long way round, but he's going to eventually get in front. Reese, is he going to go later on the brakes? He does. The McLaren is very giving there. He basically invited Reese up the inside, and Reese took it with no questions asked. Thank you very much, says the Scuderia. The papaya is piled back into P3. The gap is now 5 seconds to Leo Lund. He's setting the fastest lap. He's catching up by a second every lap. The Racing Bull is here, and he wants his podium. This is a really good race. B Wright been phenomenal since he took the lead of this Grand Prix. Sorry. He's made no mistakes. Super Turbo on the back of Casper. But yeah, he's been flawless. Here comes Deadly once again, and he's not going to wait for the back straight this time, but the Ferrari will try to defend once more, and that's exactly what he does. He gives him the space. This is beautiful racing. An amazing duel we are witnessing between Reese and Deadly. The McLaren back down to P3. Around turn 15 in towards turn 16. The McLaren is all over the back of that rear wing of the Ferrari in front again. And that scarlet red is staying in P2. But for how long? Deadly comes back, moves to the right hand side. He'll go the long way round. And Deadly is into P2. It's a 1-2 McLaren on lap 24. And Leo Lund is only 3.8 seconds behind them. What a battle between Deadly and Reese. Can Deadly start to pull away now? Sam the Man at his home Grand Prix is into P9 in that Williams. Well, here comes Fanfus to put a dampener on it. He's going to go for that lunge up the inside. The Williams goes later, leaves him the space. So respectful between the drivers. Just leaving that door open, and Fanfus is through and up to P9. Next is Jeffy Boy. And Jeffy sets the fastest lap of the race. Oh, and he went to go up the inside. Sam the Man seen him coming. Had to readjust his line. Wow, Jeffy Boy, Super Turbo into the pit lane on lap 25. Is he struggling with his tyres? 76% for the Haas. Now chasing down that Sauber in front for P8. Here comes Jeffy and Sam the Man. And Bamfus on cars. And here comes the Red Bull driver. Is he going to get the move done around the outside of the Williams? Sam the Man will be pushed out of the points if it stays like this. And the Red Bull will swing it up the inside of turn 12, and he does go into P10. So 3.5 laps to go. There goes F1 Paralex and Casper Solhamre. It's Casper that just about peels off in front of the Alpine. He's had it good for the first 3 rounds of this season in that McLaren. Now he's in the Williams. Here comes Fanfinus on cars. He's now up to P8. He's such a good driver as well, Casper. Williams will be delighted that we've got him in a seat. Again, 10 seconds. Here comes Leo Lund. It's a second. Reese knows he's 2 seconds behind Deadly now. He's sort of a sitting duck in no man's land, is Reese. And this podium could find it's dwindling away to a Racing Bull behind. And the Ferrari is going to have to defend for his life here if he wants to keep this podium. Paralex is into the pit lane as well. Now within that 1 second. You remember it took him a few laps to get past Mirko. Is it going to be the same against Reese? So here comes Leo Lund on the back of that Ferrari in front. The gap is half a second. He is finding a way to close this gap with every inch of this circuit. He is getting closer and closer, and the Ferrari is going to have to hold on. 2.5 laps to go to keep this podium. All the focus now for the Ferrari driver is on this Racing Bull behind him. He's got a bit more battery as well, has Leo Lund. So slightly, is it going to be enough to get him past? Ferrari will have more straight line speed, so it's all about the corners for Leo Lund. Two tenths is the gap. Be Right leading by 10 seconds. Casper now into the pit lane. Here comes Leo Lund. Is he going to burn that battery to try and get ahead? He is burning the battery. Fanfinus is through on Epic OJ. The Alpine driver being demoted. Here comes Cars and Jeffrey Boy, the Sauber and the Red Bull. Leo Lund was not able to get past Reese, but Jeffrey Boy is up to P9. Cars is down to P10. Fanfinus is up to P7. Leo Lund still chasing that Ferrari for a podium around the outside. Goes to Racing Bull. Leo Lund in the Racing Bull is up to P3. Reese comes back up the inside in that Ferrari, trying to squeeze him wide, but there's nothing he can do. And Leo Lund is through. Reese died down to P4. And now the chase is on for Mirko. He's only 3 seconds behind with 2 laps to go. Yellow flag. That is Truebill that's out. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it through turn 15. Yellow flag. And the car is now gone. And yeah, he's lost it through there. Track is green. Nobody taking any risks then. It is Ryan. Right is in the lead, 9 seconds in front, about to enter the final lap, just having to go past the back marker there. Jeffrey Boy is throwing Epic OJ. Epic OJ in the Alpine down to P9, and here comes Reese. on Casper. He's still trying, and he's going to try all the way to the line. Yeah, I sort of agree. I mean, Ryan and B Wright were teammates for 6 months in Tier 1, so I'm pretty sure they'll probably have some sort of friendship. Waiting for his friend. That has nothing to do with the stewards. As long as he stays impartial and makes the right decisions, okay, you like at the end of it. Always make sure that the outcomes are fair and legitimate. B Wright coming through turn 16. What a drive from the McLaren driver. He started it off in Australia. He then moved to China. He DNF'd through no fault of his own in Jeddah. And he's come to Miami and dominated once again. The reigning world champion of fanfulness drifts further away. Mirko loses the fingertips on the back of the McLaren driver, but it's B Wright that will come through to win here in Miami for round 4. Deadly will come through to take P2, and Leo Lund in the Racing Bull will take a podium again here in Miami. He takes P3. Reese will take P4. Mirko in the Mercedes takes P5. Hackmore in the Aston Martin is going to take a well-deserved P6. Here comes the Belgian, and he's going to go away and watch the half-time score of Club Bruges beating Marseille 2-0. Fanfulness, the Dutchman, he's going to come through. And the Mercedes man will take a P7 after hitting very early on. Jeffy Boy takes a P8. Epic OJ in the Alpine is going to come through and take a nice P9. Cars in the Sauber will take the final point of this race. Sam the man in the Williams will take P11. And then CJ in P12. F1 Parallex did really well, and I eat my words, well done to him, because I genuinely didn't think he would finish this race, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, just from past experiences of watching him race. But my hat goes off to him, and well done, Parallex, because that was a fantastic drive. He finishes in P12. So there you have it, P13, sorry. So what a race. Let's go through your final standings. It is the British driver on P1 on the top step once again. Reigning strong here in Miami. A fantastic drive from a fantastic driver. So let's go through your final standings. It is B Wright that takes the race victory. Deadly takes P2. Leo Lund with the fastest lap takes P3 and a podium. Reese takes P4 and Mirko in P5. Hackmore in P6. Fanfulness takes P7 and Jeffy Boy in P8. Epic OJ takes P9 and Cars in P10. Sam the man in P11. CJ in P12. Parallex in P13. Casper 14. Super Trooper in P15. And then a bad on 4. Jays, Owen, Sam and Nick and Mitch complete the 19 drivers on the grid. My driver of the day, I think, can go to no other one but B Wright for this race. I rarely give it to your race winner, but I think it was a stunning drive here today. It could have been a lot of drivers. It could have been Epic OJ, and yeah, it could have been a few, but yeah. Gonna go to B Wright. What a race, what a drive. I want you all to go and enjoy the Champions League final rounds. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the break, enjoy the time off, and I will see you all back here a week on Sunday for Barcelona. Make sure you are here on Friday at 7 p.m. We are going to be here for the first ever Le Mans Ultimate Round 1 in Monza. Do not miss it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening, have a great week, and I will see you in Barcelona. Take care, everybody.